Today on Have You Played? The sequel to Fallout 75. It's Fallout 76. And we're too smart for an audiobook, but too dumb for a real book. We review Disco Elysium. Ready or not, it's game time. And now, two total your hosts, Andrew Taylor and Matt Hall.
Just in case nobody told you today, you're beautiful because you're watching a brand new episode of Have You Played? My name is Andrew Taylor.
And I am Matthew Hall.
And boy, we just have two spicy video game titles that we're going to be looking at today.
Yes, that's correct, Andrew. We're going to look at Disco Elysium on the PC, as well as Fallout 76, also on the PC.
Let's stop wasting all this time, Matt. Let's take a look at Disco Elysium.
All right, let's hop on it.
Was that a pun?
No.
Okay.
Disco Elysium is a brilliant game. It combines late 90s CRPGs, tabletop RPGs, and point-and-click adventures to produce a truly unique experience. Our protagonist is a detective who has fallen victim to a case of amnesia so strong that not only does he forget who he is, he's also forgotten the most basic elements and concepts that make up the reality around him. He finds himself assigned to an especially gruesome case, and you're tasked with exploring the region, gathering evidence, identifying and interviewing subjects, and taking on side quests, all while having a running internal dialogue between 24 different sections of the protagonist's own brain. These 24 sections of the brain are displayed on your character sheet, and they act not only as a group of NPCs in the game, but also as stats that can be leveled up or capped depending on your actions. At the start of the game, you choose a basic character build: thinker, sensitive, physical, or you can make a custom one. As you proceed through conversations, there's a near constant stream of skill checks, and many of them are automatic, and these guide you through dialogue trees and show the inner workings of the protagonist's brain. Sometimes it's kind of like that scene from The Simpsons.
Ow, pointy! You slimy. Uh-oh, moving! Uh-huh! Aw, $20. I wanted a peanut. $20 can buy many peanuts. Explain how. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. Woohoo! Get it.
These 24 stats are divided into 4 groups: intellect, psyche, physique, and motorics. While these can all be leveled up through experience points, there's also a system called the Thought Cabinet. Remember, our protagonist is pretty much a blank slate when it comes to ideas and memories. As he converses with people, he's introduced to new concepts, and those concepts can become internalized thoughts, which will affect your stats, worldview, and personality. The game covers a wide range of topics, going into very deep technical and philosophical discussions about economics, violence, race, gender, religion, art, literature, drug addiction, the paranormal, and a lot more. These discussions propel the story forward, but also work to detail a very rich and complex understanding of the world in which the game takes place. As we discover more about the world around our protagonist, we're also in a way building him. His beliefs, habits, appearance, these are all essentially empty slots waiting to be filled by the player. There isn't any traditional combat in Disco Elysium. It's a game that I think almost anyone could pick up and complete if they wanted to. There are certain obstacles, but passing them is almost always done through a skill check, which comes in the form of a dice roll, like in a tabletop RPG. You will be faced with difficult decisions, but there aren't really many wrong choices. You do have a health bar and a bar for morale, and these can be affected by certain choices in the game. If you do something that harms your health, you'll be given ample time to heal yourself before dying, and the items that replenish your health and morale are easily found for free all over the world. Items can also be purchased from vendors if you run out. So, while it is possible to make a few too many wrong turns and be met with a game over screen, it's not something that's going to necessarily catch you by surprise. And in my playthrough, I never met a fate as cruel or random as those in a lot of the old point-and-click adventure games that seem to be a big influence on Disco Elysium. I would say it took me just over 20 hours to complete the game, but it's clear to me that this is a title that can be played many times over in many different ways. The writing is truly masterful, and at times it feels like a mix of top-notch modern literature and a choose-your-own-adventure book. Now, I pride myself on being a relatively emotionless hard-ass, but there were a few times in the game where I was nearly moved to tears by what I was reading. The game was nominated for Game of the Year in the 2019 Game Awards, and wound up winning Best Narrative, Best Indie Game, Best RPG, and so many other awards throughout 2019 and 2020. The writer and designer of the game, Robert Kurvitz, released a novel in 2013 called Sacred and Terrible Air, which is set in the same fictional world as Disco Elysium. I am very much looking forward to the next work from Robert and his studio. I really can't say too much about the specifics of the story without spoiling the game, but just trust me, this is a title that really lives up to the hype.
To the tiny church there.
So Andrew, that is Disco Elysium in a nutshell. And I have to ask you, have you played Disco Elysium?
I have not played Disco Elysium.
Oh.
So I have a couple questions.
I'll field those questions now.
So you're a man with amnesia who is a detective?
Yes.
And your firm knows that you have amnesia, but they continue letting you be a guy that does a job? Or is there other things about?
That's a complicated question. I would say short answer, yes.
Okay. Is it one of these worlds where like was the video kind of difficult to write because you didn't really? It's so large and amorphous that you couldn't really concisely explain it.
No, it's that the story is so complex and could branch off in so many ways. There's no one way to say what it is without saying, this is what I experienced on my playthrough. But
okay.
There's so many different ways the story could go.
All right.
That's why I mentioned it's like, sort of like a choose your own adventure book.
What does Disco Elysium mean? Is Elysium the...
I can't answer that.
Can you, but you shouldn't for spoiler reasons, or?
It's another thing where...
As you play it, it makes sense?
As you play it, it will make sense for you.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
No.
Your character doesn't know anything, doesn't even know the definition of words. So to ask what does a term or a phrase mean, well, it could be different depending on what you learned that to mean.
Sounds like some hippy-dippy garbage, Matt.
It kind of is. The other thing I want to mention about the game is that it just recently, depending on when this comes out, got a full revamp update where originally only certain dialogues and characters were fully voice acted.
Okay.
They have revamped everything, added a couple new areas and things to the game, but also full voice acting dialogue for all text in the game.
All of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is really cool because the voice acting that's in there right now is very good. And I think I did like reading what was happening in the game, but I feel like it'd be an even more rich experience with the full voice acting.
Well, then I think I'll have to check it out.
Yes, you should check it out. But you know what I want to check out?
What do you want to check out?
I want to check out your review of Fallout 76.
Well, Matt, we got that right here.
Oh, okay, well, roll the clip.
All right. Oh no, it's Fallout 76. Released to a much less than stellar reception in November of 2018, Fallout 76 is an online adventure RPG where you and your irradiated friends can team up to fight raiders, drink Nuka-Cola, and be somewhat unsatisfied. There was a ton of coverage on why people felt so strongly about Fallout 76 on its release, and it kinda kept me away from the game for a while, until recently, in January of 2021, Hidden Machine collaborator and local creep Jordan Hill bought us both a copy to play together. Thanks, man!
Stop calling me.
We'll be hearing more from Jordan later. But anyway, you begin your journey in the adventure mode of Fallout 76. Yes, there's a couple other modes, there's a Fortnite mode, another mode. Emerging from Vault 76 in scenic West Virginia. Your aim is to locate the overseer of Vault 76 and begin rebuilding Appalachia together. Of course, what you actually do is mostly up to you. Initially, everything feels pretty familiar, much like in Fallout 4, but soon after, the seams of this world start to become a bit more apparent. NPCs are scarce. While Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 were full of small communities and even large bustling cities, making the desolate and barren waste feel bizarrely alive, Fallout 76 seems to mostly be populated by feral ghouls, mutated animals, the occasional raider band, and these other ghouls called the Scorched, who are feral ghouls, but they're not feral ghouls, but they are, but they can use weapons. When you do finally meet up with an NPC, you'll notice dialogue is a bit different than in the other Bethesda games. I don't know what happened here, man, but there's these huge gaps of time between an NPC finishing what they say and when you can choose your response. I'm not going to list every single bug like this, but there's a good amount, and they kind of really do slow things down, and they take you out of the experience a bit. The controls feel mostly fine, very similar to Fallout 4 again, but with some differences like added visual emotes. And things feel like they're a little bit clunkier somehow. I can't really explain it. I really enjoyed the beginning of this game. The eating, drinking, and sleeping mechanics were interesting, exploring a new world was fun and felt dangerous and cool.
I'm with you, Max.
But it's when I began to dig in more that I got a little disappointed. The camp system replaces Fallout 4 settlements. It's pretty much the same thing, but now you can set up shop almost anywhere, which is really cool. What's not really cool is that almost every single camp item cannot be built before first finding or purchasing the plans or schematics for them. I know that doesn't sound that crazy, like obviously you can't just start off with a machine gun turret, right? Well, you can just start off with a machine gun turret, but these luxury items like couches and benches need to first be found in the wild or purchased with a large amount of caps before you can build them. Now I've played a good amount of Fallout 3, and shortly after I dumped several hundred hours into Fallout 4, and I consider it to be one of my favorite games ever. But I haven't played many other Fallout titles, except Fallout Shelter, which is good too, but not exactly the same. Jordan, however, has actually taken the time to play almost every single Fallout game all the way through, including like the old ones. So I thought he could offer a different perspective on 76. So I'll now pass my rad mic over to my glowing guest, Jordan, the furious Fallout fanatic.
Oh my god.
You're welcome, Jordan.
In the early hours of November 18th, 2018, Fallout 76 was released. And the world, as everyone knew it, ended.
No shit.
As Andrew already told you, I'm a Fallout fanboy through and through, and I can honestly say that I love every game in the series as if they were my own kids. I've got a favorite, but I'll never tell. 76 is like your son who graduated top of his class, only to drop out of college, start 2 punk bands, and move back home. You still love him, but disappointed would be an understatement. 76 had every opportunity to blow everyone away by bringing the series into the world of online multiplayer. But instead, they failed to innovate at every step. In story mode, the dialogue feels broken, the plot uninspired, the gameplay stale, and more than anything else, it felt rushed.
He's dead, don't worry. I shot the shit out of him and sent him flying through the air.
Fallout games have always felt like a labor of love, and this doesn't. Sure, it's still a fun game, and as a Fallout fanatic, I still love stumbling into different situations and exploring the irradiated wasteland in a way that's unique to Fallout. I was beyond excited to share that with a friend online, but 76 does almost everything it can to stop you from doing that. Advancing the story with a friend means you have to play through each mission twice. Outside of the missions, the world has little to offer. Andrew and I decided to try nuclear winter mode, and I was shocked to find myself having fun. Fallout as a series has always been about the story, post-apocalyptic America, the people just trying to get by in a scary and unknown world, the challenges of rebuilding a society that's already proved it's doomed to fail.
Oh shit, I'm down.
This all feels like the unfortunate result of the corporate mentality that's strangling the gaming industry. And don't even get me started on the Atomic Shop. Where does Todd Howard get off asking for more of my money, that son of a bitch?
Thanks again, Jordan.
No problem.
So basically, I think what we're trying to say here is that if you are a diehard fan of Fallout 76 is definitely worth checking out. A lot of the bugs have been worked out and a lot of improvements have been made to the game. It's really fun to play with friends, especially the nuclear winter Fortnite whatever mode. 76 was a little bit of a rocky start for a online Fallout sort of thing, but hey, maybe in the future it'll lead to something even better.
We won.
Oh yeah? Hell yeah. War doesn't change. Fall out with your balls out, Matt. That was Fallout 76. And I just got one question for you. Have you played Fallout 76?
Yeah.
Oh.
I definitely did.
You sure did play it. I sent you a lot of party invites while me and Jordan were playing together, and I don't know if maybe they just weren't getting through.
No, I just wasn't getting through. I did not like Fallout 76. I played it. I think I waited until the first big expansion came out. It was Wastelanders or something. I don't know. I don't care. So I waited because I knew the game was broken on release, and I didn't want to be someone who just shat on it because of the bugs.
Yeah.
All Bethesda games are very buggy when they come out.
Yeah. It seems like it's getting only worse as time goes on. But so be it.
That said, to me it felt like a cheaper version of Fallout 4, which felt like a cheaper version of Fallout 3. And I like Fallout 4 a lot. I understand they did a lot to make it more accessible to people. And then it feels like they did a lot to make Fallout 76 less accessible to people. Without like any of the depth or storytelling or characters or memorable anything. It was just like, here's the basic mechanics of Fallout 4, and it's sometimes really broken, and there's no cool characters. All right, have fun.
Yeah, I am pretty torn on this one. I'm leaning towards not liking it, but I spent about, I think, 60 to 70 hours with it because I wanted to make sure I really got to experience it, and that's much more time than I think you have to spend on a game to give it a first impression style review. Even now, I still feel like I don't know what to say about Fallout 76. That video was hard to make. I don't know what to make of Fallout 76. I wanted it to be better. I kept thinking, this is cool, but it'll get better. And it kind of didn't. But I had these moments where, especially specifically the moments that I was playing with Jordan, we had some good times.
Yeah.
But not in the regular mode. Not in the adventure mode, where you're supposed to be able to team up with your buddies and take on quests. We couldn't do that.
I also had some fun times with it on occasion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was 100% terrible game, just sucks 100%, awful piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's just that for the price, for the commitment involved in actually getting anywhere in the game, time-wise and everything,
Yeah.
and the fact that it's not really innovating on what the previous Fallout games offered, it's just like, well, why would I spend my time playing this thing that's really not satisfying? Like,
I think the reason to that would be that you can play with your friends. But when you play with your friends, it kind of sucks. There's a lot of stuff that works against you.
right, and I don't have any friends, so that
doesn't
sucks
have
even
any.
more for me.
I know you would never try this, but the Battle Royale mode, whatever that's called, Nuclear Winter, pretty good, pretty fun. A little clunky, like any sort of Fallout thing is.
There's probably better Battle Royale games out there, though.
It probably is. Like, honestly, we had some fun moments with that, me and Jordan.
I mean, the shooting in Fallout's never been
No.
incredible.
Yeah, Jordan and I both we always play as like a melee class or like a stealth kind of deal. Because shooting is, I don't know, I don't like VATS. I've never liked VATS in any of the games. Sorry. I don't know what to say about Fallout 76.
Okay, sometimes what you can't say through regular words, you can sometimes express better through song.
You're giving me a couple ideas.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Fallout 4 was a good game. Crafting mattered, settlements were cooler. But they said, Andrew, 3 was better. I said, not really. What does it matter? Fallout 3, take a peek. Fallout 4, Paladin Dance 76, suck some dicks. Fallout 3 is okay to me.
Wow, you know, I feel like I understand your views on Fallout 76 a bit better now.
Yeah, I think what you said was true. I managed to get a lot better control of my thoughts through song. And I feel a lot better now.
That's good. Well, now that you're feeling better, I should ask you, what have you been playing lately?
Recently, Matt, oh god, this is always embarrassing. I've been playing a game called Zombier.
Okay, I'm familiar with that game.
Oh man, well, I'm playing it with the anticipation of making a little review on it, and pretty much it's a little smaller game. The world, you wake up in a world where everyone is a zombie, and most of them are poorly dressed women. And you have to drink Zombier to prevent yourself from becoming a zombie. But if you drink too much, then you get drunk. So that's like the main mechanic, and it's a shooter kind of puzzle solver. And what have you been playing recently?
Well, very recently, I started playing through a game called Angerfoot, which I saw on Twitter, and I said, huh, that looks like a lot of fun. So I downloaded it, and holy shit, it's a lot of fun. It's a very fast-paced, level-based, first-person shooter / melee combat kind of game where you have a course you run through.
Okay.
It's very similar to like a Hotline Miami or something where you gotta take out the enemies and get to the goal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just very fun, fast-paced combat. And because it's like on a little course, you know, the enemies always spawn in the same places. So it's one of those games where, similar to like even Katana Zero that we covered on the show before, you're just kind of like getting through the course as quickly as you can, but because of the combat mechanics and the layout of the levels, it's like there's a lot of different ways you can go through it, and it's just really fun. I can't stress enough how much fun it is. I was actually involuntarily smiling while playing the game. That's how much fun I was having.
Were you going, wowee?
I was going,
Well, that game sounds really good. Unfortunately, I am gonna have to issue a cease and desist because that is a band name that I had licensed.
Damn.
Just in case, so that we're gonna be taking that game down. But I talked a little bit about what I've been playing. You've talked a little bit about what you've been playing. Matt, what we really wanna know is what you've been playing at home, you the viewer. Take it away, Matt.
leave a comment. Let us know what you've been up to lately. Game-wise, I don't care about anything else.
Please, only gaming.
While you're at it, please subscribe to the channel, click that little bell to get notified all fucking week as we upload videos at a seemingly impossible rate. And be sure to like this video and then go through our entire playlists and like every other video, okay? That's gonna do us a big helping, and we need it bad.
You see the subscriber count over there?
It's pathetic.
It's not very good, but that can change with your help.
Anyway, until next time.
Have you played? What the fuck did you hear that?
No?